Hey everybody, this is Debbie from total-german-shepherd.com, and today I want to quickly go over just a few things that you should really know, especially concerning your German Shepherd's health, and that's symptoms that you should completely just never ignore these in your dog. Now, your dog can't explain his symptoms to you, so it's your responsibility and that of your veterinarian to take care of your dog as good as you can. And basically, in case you're just not quite sure what a symptom is, basically this is defined as a physical sign or some sort of sensation that it's evidence that a disease or some sort of condition is present. Now, symptoms can help you and your veterinarian, diagnose what might be the problem with your German Shepherd in the event that something is wrong with them, or they are sick, or they have been injured, or whatever. And some of the more common symptoms you're going to see are things you see on the board now, such as vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, drooling, not eating, going off their food, limping. So that's just a few of the most common ones. And you might ask yourself, I know the symptoms of my dog, but just when is that symptom a problem? Well, it's pretty simple. Basically, if your dog has any symptom and it continues over a period of time, or if it worsens, this is when it becomes a problem. So say your dog has a symptom such as vomiting, and it happens and then it resolves itself, you're probably not going to have to see the vet. But if your German Shepherd continually vomits and then it progresses on to not eating and eventually it gets diarrhea on top of all that, then it is time to take your dog to the doctor. Now, some symptoms such as seizures, collapse, if your dog has difficulty breathing or something like that, all these should require immediate veterinary exams. Now, these are all symptoms, that are just very, very serious. And if you have any doubt about just how serious any symptom your dog has really is, contact your veterinarian or get in touch with your local, veterinary emergency facility and ask them, for advice. It's always better to err on the safe side than to just wait until something happens and it's just way too late to take care of it. Now, there are many symptoms that should simply just never be ignored. So let's talk about, just a list of several things that you should not ignore in your German Shepherd. So here we go. So first of all, collapse or fainting. Now, if your dog collapses suddenly, maybe it falls and it can't get back up, or maybe it faints. There's a lot of things that can cause this, and all of them can be potentially very serious. So you just don't want to take this for granted. So if your dog has either one of these, you want to get it to a vet immediately. Another thing is seizures. Now, a seizure can be a really, really scary thing to watch. It can be anything from, the severity differs from dog to dog. Anything from just kind of a far away look or maybe a little bit of a twitching, all the way up to the dog can't stand on its own and it's having a seizure and it's jerking its legs around in its body and maybe it's gnashing its teeth. There's just a wide array of symptoms and seizures. But basically, all these things are symptoms of some sort of neurological problem. It might be that it's been brought on by epilepsy or some sort of toxins or even a tumor, but if your dog is seizing, get it to a doctor immediately. Another thing is a distended abdomen. Now, if your dog has a distended abdomen, this is basically an enlargement of the abdominal cavity. So there's a lot of things that can cause this. Maybe an enlargement of some sort of organ in the abdominal region. It may be bloated, and any of these things can be very, very serious and emergency situations. So if your dog has a distended abdomen, get it to the veterinarian immediately. Another thing you want to be very aware of in your German Shepherd are breathing problems. Now, if your dog has labor breathing, or if it's in respiratory distress, or if it has shortness of breath, any of these things can cause your dog to not be able to get enough oxygen to his tissues, which can be a very, very serious symptom of other things that needs to be evaluated immediately. If your dog has any kind of unproductive vomiting, say it tries to vomit over and over and over and it just can't bring something up, this is often a common sign of bloat. And it can be a problem for other things too, but bloat is one common sign from unproductive vomiting. So anyway, if your dog's doing this, get it to vet immediately. Another problem that your dog may experience is trouble urinating. Now, this can be anything from straining to urinate, to frequently trying to urinate, to even, discomfort when they urinate. Any of these things can have all different kinds of underlying causes, but the result is you just basically want to get your dog to the vet as quickly as possible because this can be very, very serious. Now, if your dog has pale gums, oftentimes this is a symptom of something such as blood loss or maybe even shock. So you want to make sure that you get it evaluated quickly. And if your dog has any kind of bruising, abnormal bruising, or if it has any kind of bleeding, you want to make sure that you have this checked immediately. The causes of the bleeding might be something, relatively mild, or it may be something very, very serious, just depending, on the wound or whatever, or what's causing the bleeding, or even the amount of blood loss. So anyway, in any respect, get your dog to the vet immediately. Now, bite wounds can happen, when two dogs are playing, or maybe they get a little bit too carried away and they get in a fight or whatever. So bite wounds, they might not appear too bad on the surface, but they can often be quite extensive. So get them checked out. Now, if your dog is lethargic, or if it's weak, has a very if it's drowsy, if it's inactive, or it's indifferent to anything that's going around, this can often represent some sort of severe or even a life-threatening illness. So you want to make sure if your dog is lethargic or has a weakness, you just can't do like it normally does, get it checked out as quickly as you can. Another thing that can often be, a first sign of sickness is a loss of appetite in your dog. No matter whatever the cause is, loss of appetite can also have a serious impact on the animal's health, especially if it lasts for 24 hours or more. So get it checked out. Now, if your dog is pacing and if it's restless, this can often indicate that the dog is in pain, or maybe it's in some sort of distress, or it's just discomfort in general. Restlessness can also be often associated with a condition called bloat, which is an emergency issue. And if you want to have this, you need if you want to, but you need to get this checked out immediately. Pacing and restlessness can be an indication of a very serious problem, so have it checked out. Don't just take it for granted. Now, if your dog has unexplained weight loss, you're not trying to help your dog lose weight, and suddenly your dog loses quite a bit of weight, especially like if it exceeds 10% of its normal body weight, then you want to have this checked out because there's some serious cause that is the result of this. So you want to have it checked out immediately and see what is going on. Now, if your dog is excessively drinking, or if it's excessively urinating, this can often be the sign of certain diseases such as kidney failure, diabetes, thyroid gland problems, uterine infections, and a lot of other things. So basically, if you determine that your dog is drinking excessively or urinating excessively, make an appointment with your veterinarian as quickly as you can. Now, you may not know if your dog has a fever or not, but the normal temperature for dogs is between 100.5 and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's 100.5 to 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you check your dog's temperature and it seems higher than this, or it is higher than this, have it checked out as quick as you can. Now, this is one thing a lot of people take for granted. Now, excessive coughing can happen as a result of a lot of different things. It might be some sort of obstruction in the windpipe, it might be bronchitis or pneumonia, kennel cough, lung tumors, heart failure, or even heartworm disease. So if your dog is excessively coughing, especially over the period of several days or whatever, have it checked out as quickly as you possibly can. Last but not least, we'll talk about this. Now, bloody diarrhea or bloody urine or bloody vomit, any of these things can be caused by, several different things. Some might be very subtle, minor ailments, and others can be very, very severe or even life-threatening. So if your dog has any of these symptoms, if it exhibits bloody diarrhea, bloody urine, bloody vomit, have it checked out as quickly as you can. And if you possibly can, get a sample of it to take with you too, because that'll really help your vet out. Now, if you get a chance, we'd love to have you come by anytime and check us out online. We have a lot of videos. We have all sorts of information about the German Shepherd dog. We have pictures. We have articles. There's a lot of health information there, information about training, just loads of stuff about the German Shepherd dog. So if you have a German Shepherd, or if you're interested in the German Shepherd, or if you want to learn more, please come by and visit us at any time. And that's www.total-german-shepherd.com. Thank you very much for your time, and y'all have a good day. Thank you.